Welcome to Tales from the Street.
Here's what our narrator has to say. My wife was a beautiful woman. We had been married twice before I met her. She left her first husband because he was always beating her. He beat her so much, she lost 2 pregnancies. The second husband was a drunk. He would drink so much kai he would end up inside the gutter. She said she couldn't cope with it again, so she divorced him and married me. And no, she wasn't my first wife either, so both of us had been through difficult marriages, and I honestly believed she was happy with me. Sometime last year, my wife came to ask for permission to spend 3 days away from home in order to attend the wedding of one of her cousins. I didn't know this particular cousin who was getting married. But my wife told me she was the daughter of one of her cousins. And as tradition demanded in their place, the women in the family will gather to cook for 3 days for the wedding. I had no reason to say no, don't go. When your spouse comes from a large family, you can't know all their family members. I just asked her if so and so was going. I mean some of those that I know, and she said yes. I gave her money and she left on a Friday. The wedding was on a Saturday, and when she said she would return on Sunday, I didn't have a problem with that. She did not return on Sunday. In the evening of that particular Sunday, I called her number, but it was just ringing. She didn't pick up and she did not call back. And then I called her cousins, 2 of whom she had told me were going to be at the wedding. But they told me they did not see my wife. I said this is not possible because on Friday evening, my wife called me to tell me all of you were at the wedding. But they said yes, they attended the wedding, but swore they did not see my wife. By Monday, my anxiety level had grown and I couldn't sleep. I was wondering, was my wife involved in an accident? Was she kidnapped before she got there? How on earth will she say she was at a wedding with 2 witnesses and yet she never attended? Up until then, I had no reason to doubt that my wife could be up to anything untoward. By evening of that Monday, I went to report at the police station. I told them my wife had left home on Friday and was meant to return on Sunday. But this is Monday and no wife. They said I should continue to call her relatives and watch out. Maybe she branched somewhere. One of the policemen even said maybe she went to her boyfriend's house. I felt insulted. I told him my wife would never do a thing like that. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, I was at the police station as usual when they told me there was a corpse that had been dumped at the mortuary of the general hospital, that I should go there and identify it. They said the body was discovered in a shallow grave and there was already a suspect. At first I refused. I said there was no way my wife would be dead. And how did they even get a suspect? Anyway, I was finally prevailed upon, and my sister. It's my wife's dead body I saw. My wife was the corpse in the shallow grave. After that, the whole story started coming out. I learned that my wife truly did not go for any wedding. Instead, she went to meet a man friend. And wait for it, the man already had 3 wives living with him. Can you imagine that? What sort of madness was that? But they didn't meet at the man's house. They met at a shack belonging to the man's friend, somewhere in the bush. The so-called friend had the farm, so they went to the shack and the farm by Songo. I am beside myself with rage. So now, it happened that the wife of the man whose shack they used gave my wife kulikuli and gari that night. My wife drank the kulikuli and gari and died overnight. Well, that's the story I heard at the police station, because the boyfriend had been caught. And after the police dealt with him, he started confessing like a witch. He said he woke up to start another round of knocking when he saw she wasn't responding. He shook her. She was already dead. So he waited till morning to call his friend. Together, they carried her dead body to another farm to bury. It was 6 days later that the owner of the farm discovered the dead body, called the police, who came and took the body away. But it turned out her phone was buried with her. That's how they traced it back to the last few calls. It was the boyfriend's number. They tracked and found him. A messy affair. But that is my problem. The problem is, what will I tell our 2-year-old daughter when she's grown? What will I tell her killed her mother?
If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.